Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, today I'm going to be talking about the Kamala Harris in the actual coup that is against her, the Democratic coup, may I mind you, because they do not like her. They do not like how she's polling and how she's doing, and this is one of the reasons why she is in danger. And what's going on here is I'm going to be explaining exactly on what the Democrats seem to do, what their nominee is, or a challenger that may be approaching as their ticket, and how also the left is completely fuming on how this is a horrible idea, which I actually agree with, and how the Democratic Party is pretty much destroying itself because they're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And it's not looking too great for them, so without further ado, here we go. So, we have this here, right, guys, where we're talking about Barack Obama not really supporting Kamala Harris for some reason. The black man is not supporting Kamala Harris, and this is a concern, I think, for a lot of people here.
Interesting. What I found interesting, too, from Barack Obama's statement this morning, and bearing in mind it's the first public statement that we've seen from Barack Obama in a while. Obviously, he talked highly of Joe Biden's decision, but what was interesting there is that there was no endorsement of Kamala Harris. What do you make of that? Is that a suggestion to you that Mr. Obama wants an open convention?
Yes, I think absolutely it is. I mean, he would have endorsed her if he wanted her to be anointed, if you like. Definitely. I mean, Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi have made it clear to colleagues that they want to see an open contest here. They don't want Kamala Harris just to be put into the position. They think it's not a good look for that to happen, firstly. And secondly, of course, there could be another candidate who might be more effective against Donald Trump than Kamala Harris. But you've really got the Democratic Party split on this, Pete. A lot of people, Bill Clinton, for example, has come out in the last hour or so and has endorsed Kamala Harris. There's a lot of people who want the party just to coalesce around Harris. They think that's less divisive. They think it's the only way to go forward without more divisions within the party. But then, of course, you have the Barack Obamas and Nancy Pelosi's who want an open contest. And so that's really the big debate that we're going to see play out here in the next few days in Washington.
Isn't the trouble too, and I know you've spoken about this too, when it comes to Kamala Harris. I mean, she's got that huge block of voters, the black vote there, and you know you'd have to think that they'd be very upset if Kamala Harris wasn't at the top of the ticket, right, Cam?
Yeah, and it's not looking too great for the Democrats. But let me clarify here. What I mean by not that people are upset about it, the Democratic people are quite upset about it. They don't know what to expect, not what to do, and they're being blindsided by the deep state Democratic Party and what have you, even the Republicans, and they're actually, not very happy about this. And of course, we have this here too, saying that Pelosi Jeffries stopped short of backing Harris as 2024 nominee. So what we have here is that former Speaker Nancy Pelosi and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries stopped short of endorsing Vice President Harris as the party's new nominee on Sunday, after President Biden announced that he would not seek re-election, a notable omission as Democrats head into an uncharted path forward. Goes on to say here, guys, that Pelosi and Jeffries, both of whom were reported to have expressed concerns to Biden about his candidacy following last month's disastrous debate performance, heaped praise on the president but did not mention Harris by name, nor mention who they want to see at the top of the ticket ahead of November. So, yeah, that's not good. So, again, we have Pelosi and Jeffries, big Democratic people, not supporting or at least nominating Harris as the presidential nominee. So, I don't know what's going on there, but that's not looking good, right? So, the Democrats are in complete disarray. It's not looking great for the Democrats in this instance. Now, what we have here is, this is what Pelosi was saying about, kind of endorsing and saying how good Harris was, when in reality, that's not the case. That's how, at least, if that was the case here, let's put it this way. She would be endorsing Harris right now, Kamala Harris, and she's not.
He thinks so, and that's what matters. And by the way,
you think so?
She's very politically astute. I don't think people give her enough credit. She's, of course, values-based, consistent with the president's values and the rest. And people don't understand, she's politically astute. Why would she be vice president if she were not? But when she was running for attorney general in California, she had 6% in the polls. 6% in the polls. And she politically astutely made her case about why she would be good, did her politics, and became attorney general. So people shouldn't underestimate what Kamala Harris brings to the table.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much. You're a source of strength, inspiration, intellectual resource, and the rest. I think she's represented our country very well at home and abroad.
So yeah, this is not looking good for Pelosi here, right? Because specifically what we have is that Pelosi seems very enthusiastic of, happy that Kamala Harris is the one that is the VP, right? She's endorsing, she's happy, she thinks that he thinks so, and that's what matters. And, not really hating or going against Kamala Harris. But now, you skip four years later, and you're finding out that, she's not really endorsing Kamala Harris at all, and not saying anything good or great about her. And we have to find out was Nancy Pelosi just lying through her teeth all those years ago? Or was what else could she possibly be thinking? Because obviously this is not something that is something that she really believes in. She's not trying to endorse Kamala Harris now. Now, what we have here is the actual huge conversation here with the Democrats. Like, some of these people are saying that they're saying, well, we have a problem here. It's like you're not saying true to your delegates. You're not saying true to your supporters. You're not saying true to people that are, they're your benefactors and all that stuff. It's all a huge problem. And where are we going to go from here? It's going to be a huge, huge issue, and it's going to be a massive blow to the Democratic Party if we allow this to go on. It's like we can't be doing this right now, and it's what have you. So here's this where they're completely melting down and saying this is not a good idea.
That it is black and brown Democrats who are opposing this push out. I think there's one African-American Democrat who's for pushing Biden out, and note that it is consultants and non-people of color Democrats who are on the other side. Just an interesting thing to note. And the last thing I'll note is, where are the voters who are being asked about this, and also the people who would have the job of actually getting out this vote? They're not being asked. No one's asking them. Apparently the donors and the sort of elite Dems are just kind of doing their own thing. Weird time to be a Democrat.
There is absolutely going to be a Democratic primary next time around. We don't have time for a Democratic primary right now. And look, I get the idea of what you all are putting forward, can all these other candidates go out there and hit the road and campaign for the job? That's not how any of this works, right? There's no more voting. The convention is a couple of weeks away. So the campaign, we had the campaign to the delegates, and the idea that we're going to take this nomination away from Joe Biden and give it to someone that the voters in the primary never voted for is, I think, a recipe for absolute disaster. And particularly if they step over the vice president here, it becomes really, look, I'm going to be really straightforward. If the Democrats want to give the White House back to Donald Trump, let them go into a nomination process, open nomination process, and disrespect and step over the first black woman vice president in this country, and they will be committing absolute suicide. Absolute suicide. That is the surefire way for Donald Trump to become president.
I 100% agree, and I think that it is completely suicide for the Democrats to even try to come and do this, because what are they going to do? The supporters are wanting to support Biden here, and they're not getting that at all. And here's another thing too. Here is a conversation between Stephen A. Smith and Alvera Martin, I may believe. And she's saying, if you replace Kamala Harris with some white person, you're not going to get the black vote. You're not going to get the black women vote, and it will be a huge problem for the White House, and you'll have to give Donald Trump the keys and have him control the White House in August, what have you. So this is a huge problem for the Democrats here.
Oh, Stephen, who are we agreeing? There's a long list of Democrats: Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer. The list goes on and on and on. You've named 4 or 5 people. Where is their consensus? You've got to build consensus, and there is not consensus right now. If you pick a white man over Kamala Harris, black women, I can tell you this: we're gonna walk away. We're gonna blow the party up. If you pick the black woman,
where you gonna walk away to, Ariva? Where you gonna walk away to? You gonna walk away? You ain't gonna walk away to Trump?
Over Kamala Harris. So where are we getting agreement from on who this ideal Democratic candidate should be? Tell me that. Nobody's told me who it should be. And then tell me how you're going to get the 4,000 delegates, which I am one of them. I'm a delegate coming from California. So who's going to step out? One, tell Joe Biden you got to step aside, because everybody's not being mature about this process. Joe Biden is not just the president. There's a whole team of people. There's an administration. So if Joe Biden, when he gets reelected, which my prediction is that he will, he brings with him Kamala Harris, the most diverse administration in the history of this country. Y'all need to just stay the course. We got more black judges appointed under Joe Biden than anyone, even President Barack Obama.
That is not the point, because we're not, once again, hold on, Ariva. We are not.
I don't know anything about sports, but I know you don't give up on your star player in the middle of a game. Okay. You tell me why every Democratic primary that has taken place between the time Democratic primary started this year until today, Joe Biden has won those primaries. If all of these Democrats wanted someone other than Joe Biden to be the candidate on the ballot in 2024, they had an opportunity before June of 2024 to make that a reality. And I don't know about all those sports figures that's been changed in games. I'm going to take your word for that. But I bet you they weren't almost at the finish line when you decided, let's change them out. We are almost at the finish line. We have an opportunity to save this democracy.
Ariva,
and I bet you blow up Joe Biden, you might as well give Donald Trump the keys to the White House and let him start ruling the country in August.
Yeah, so she was pretty adamant here, that saying if you drop out Kamala Harris, you're going to have fire and fury because, we want Kamala Harris. You can't replace her with a white man, right? So, again, they're very, very upset about this. They're not happy about this. And I think and it's going to blow up in the Democratic Party if they keep on doing this. And finally, we have here to where this is their actual selection here. This is what they have coming up for as the current challenger for the Democratic Party here. This is what they have. They have Manchin, I may believe that is their selection.
Bit of news, not exactly along these lines, but, and also not exactly unexpected, but of course, here it is, 2 sources telling NBC News that Senator Joe Manchin is considering running for president. This is according to 2 people who spoke with him. Senator Manchin, of course, is not a member of the Democratic Party. He's an independent. He launched a nonprofit called Americans Together last year. He has long both invited and stoked speculation that he would be a presidential candidate at some point if he sees this as his moment. Again, to me, not surprising given the history of Joe Manchin. I don't have any idea what that would do in terms of this process. Whether or not the Democrats, in some organized way, try to create some semblance of a primary rather than just endorsing Vice President Harris, we shall see. But it's at this point, it feels to me like the process is potentially nebulous, but the outcome is not.
Sources close to Senator Joe Manchin say that he is now considering re-registering as a Democrat to throw his hat in the ring. Do you support that?
Well, what I support the beauty of the frictionless process, or the friction process of democracy. This is democracy, and we should be proud that every time we change power, we do it in a peaceful way, and whomever wants to run, they should have a right to do so, and we make the decision who the best to represent our party.
All right. Well, Mayor Adams, I appreciate your time. We all do. Thank you so much.
So yeah, the Democratic Party is in shambles. Nobody believes this is a good idea. Not even the people on the left side of the Democratic Party are believing this. So I think the Democratic Party is about to get completely cooked. They put themselves in this major hole, and it ain't looking great. The coup may actually it may succeed, but it may cost them the actual election here, because they have failed at almost every turn known to man. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.